Hello YouTube, this is Super Adri. I am now going to teach you the basics of Scratch. But just to start, I want to say that you will need Scratch 2 to follow along. You can also follow along with Scratch 1.4, but it's not as good because some blocks are missing. And also the GUI is going to look different to what you're going to actually see in the video, and I think the coordination system's a bit different. No, it's not. Oh well, that might have just been me. But so I'm just going to remind you, get Scratch 2. I'm going to put a link in the description, and get the offline editor. Don't get a Scratch account, or get a Scratch account to publish your games. I would advise you not to make them online because, well, you can get hacked. Like, people can see what you're making, and you can... Why is this happening? Sorry. And people can basically see what you're making, but they can't really see what you're making if you make it on your own computer. But let's start. Forget about the hacking business and the software business. I want to show you some of the basic on what the different blocks do in Scratch. In Scratch 1.4, these two should be put together as in one of these, and more blocks will not exist. Data will be called variables. In events, there's this one. This is like an if. So when flag clicked, any blocks under this code will be played when I click the flag. Okay, this one is basically you select a key, and it's basically the same thing as that, but when you press the key. This one is when this sprite is clicked. When this cat sprite is clicked, that is selected, it will do that thing basically they put under. This one is to do with backdrops. This you will only get in Scratch 2. And it's basically when the background changes to, let's say, this one. Yeah. This one is this is also in Scratch 2 only. This is when the volume reaches a certain amount, do that basically. You can also do timer and video motion. Don't ask me what that's supposed to be to do with. This is when you broadcast things. This is when you receive a message. This is when you want to say, let's say, I've just walked onto a block, and when I walk onto the block, let's say zombie will pop up. Basically, I'll say that I would broadcast the message using this, or broadcast and wait. They'll wait till someone receives the message. So I'll broadcast the message, and then it would basically when it receives a message, it will do anything under that. Now, in control, there will be wait. So basically, let's say I've put a function for play sound blah blah blah. Wait 1 second, and then it plays another sound. That's what that's going to do. Is, let's say, it goes like ding, and then waits 1 second, then it goes, and then the next second it'll go like dong, or something else, like with other commands. Repeat basically constantly starts repeating a command for an amount in there. Forever is the same, but it does it forever. But that's only when flag clicked. In the other ones, it will be when that happens. So when let's say space clicked, as long as space is clicked, that will happen in there. If or in Scratch 2, if then will basically, if something is met in that box there, let's say touching blah blah blah, it will do the commands in there. The same thing with this, but there's also an else command that is basically supposed to be, if that is not reached, wait until is basically wait, but it's going to wait until that thing there is met. Stop all and stop other sprites in scripts in Sprite are in Scratch 1.4. They basically do what the command does. Stop all basically works like this, and this will shut down like the whole sprite. This script will only stop the script, and this is only in Scratch Scratch 2. This clone thing, it's only in Scratch 2 and it's pretty useful. The clone can be used to, let's say, make a Minecraft game, and it copies a sprite. So let's say I want 2 cats. Instead of having to make 2 cats as sprite, you can use this create clone of myself that basically will use all the same commands, but just different, whatever. So basically just as a different sprite. So make a new sprite basically, even though it's not going to be in the sprites folder. This is when I start as a clone. So this is not going to happen when it's in the original form, but this is only going to happen if it's a clone. It'll do the thing after it. And delete this clone is going to remove that clone of the block or whatever you've made sprite. Sensing is just a load of variables, like, or things you can do. Touching is basically if you touch something like the edge. If you're touching the edge, let's say you move back a step. But if you're touching mouse pointer, that's the mouse, let's say it's going to move back as well. This also works with sprites, so if I had more sprites here, it will show the other sprites. Touching color, you basically get a color picker and you choose a color you want. Basically, you go up to the cat, let's say. I want it to be orange, whatever. And also, you get this one if that certain color is touching that other color. Distance to... seriously don't know what that is, but... Oh yeah, it's like another variable, but let's say if distance to mouse pointer is 10, so let's say if I put my mouse pointer 10 centimeters near the cat, well, 10 millimeters more like, next to the cat, let's say it's going to turn the cat blue. This is more for, it's like an answering thing. Basically, if I do that, you see, ask what's your name, whatever. Whatever, blah blah blah, and basically it's going to set answer. Is basically going to set the answer to that basically, and you can ask this constantly, and it's going to set the answer to that. This is basically this block, but it's if you want to do it within another command. Mouse down, I seriously don't know what that means, but probably it's something like right click or something. I don't know. Let me check. Help. Also, if mouse button is pressed. Oh, so if you, it's basically again like this block is basically that block if it's basic, but for mouse. And I think this time it's got more, but doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is basically like the variables of where is the mouse. So if mouse X equals 10, make the cat dance, whatever. Loudness is the variable, you know, for loudness. How loud I'm speaking, you see? Hello! Hello? You see? It changes. A video motion on this sprite. I seriously don't know what that's supposed to be, but I'm guessing that's to do with motion. Turn video on. I don't know what that is. You can read this if you want. Video turns video camera on. What? Oh well, doesn't matter. Done. Doesn't matter. This I'm guessing sets the transparency. I don't know what this is going to do, but doesn't matter. Timer, I'm guessing there's like a timer or something. Current minute, I'm guessing that's minute of game. Oh, I'm guessing that's like the time, the actual time. Days since that. Seriously? Why would I need that? Oh well. Basically saying how many days since the 20th century started. Username. Really? Whatever, it must be something to do with the username. Why is this happening every time I'm recording? God. This is basically, let's say 1 plus 2 makes 3, and it puts the input as 3. Same with that, minus. That's times and that's divide. That is basically you'll pick a random number 1 to 10, or you can choose it. This is basically, is that greater than, that is smaller than that, equals that, greater than that. This is and, so let's say if I want to use the if command, if, let's say, variable 1 equals 10 and variable 2 equals 20, blah blah blah, is basically that. Or is if I want to say if variable 1 equals 10 or variable 2 equals 20, blah blah blah. Not is basically if blah blah blah, if blah, let's say variable 1 is not equal to 10, blah blah blah. Join, I'm guessing that's every time someone starts the game, it'll say, let's say those two words. Letter 1 of world. I don't know what that means. Length of world. I'm guessing this is to do with variables. So letter 1 of world, that's to do with strings. So what is the letter 1 of world? Length of world, that means probably how long is that variable. Mod, I know what mod means. It's kind of like another thing. It's basically in computers, normally when you do division, they're going to give you a decimal, not a remainder. And the mod it basically gives you just the remainder. So instead of saying, let's say 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, it's going to say 3 mod 2 is 1. You see what I mean? Wait, was it right? Wait, no, it's 0.5, whatever. Sorry about that. Thinking about, oh well. Round, basically round that number. I don't know what that is. Whatever that is, it's of that. More blocks, basically let's say you define a block. So let's say I want to make a block called that. After this I need to say, whenever I use this block, what commands must be executed. Move 10 steps. It will basically move 10 steps in that direction. This is going to turn the character around. Point in direction will make the character point a certain direction. Well, sprite, it's same with all these. Point towards will point towards another sprite or an object or something. Go to X and Y. Basically, that makes a character instantly teleport to that X or Y. Go to mouse pointer will make, or what other sprites will make it go to that sprite or mouse pointer. Glide is go to, but instead of teleporting, it'll slowly move, and you can adjust the speed by choosing how many seconds it will take to go there. You can use distance variables and stuff to use for that. Change X basically does that, but let's say instead of saying set it, it'll change it by that much. So let's say I want to, it's same with Y, and set basically sets it, but this sets both of them. These two only set one. So if I want to change X by -10, I'll do this command, and then if I was to execute it, you see the cat's moving back. And let's say change Y by 10, the cat moves up. Put it back to -10. Put it to -10. You see, goes down. If an edge bounce, that's actually a pretty old command. Basically, if the cat, let's say, goes onto the edge, it'll bounce him back, like bing, bing, boing, 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 whatever. Set rotation style. Oh yeah, this is a new command, I think. Basically, left-right rotation, they'll set it, basically they can only move left or right. Don't rotate makes it they stay stuck looking that direction. Annoying. All around makes him move, like turn himself, do backflips, whatever. Look, the whole of this is to do with like how the character looks. Say, basically does that. Say hello for 2 seconds. Hello. Say hello. Hello. What's happened? Think is just different speech bubble. It's the same thing. Show basically will show the cat sprite. Hide hides it. Shows it. Switch costume to the other costume. Basically switches the costume. In the stages will say backdrop. Basically you see there's 2 costumes. They're like images. Change color will put a color effect on them. You see? It changes the color of him. Set color effects will set it to different color. Clear graphics effects will clear all effects on the graphics. These are like all color effects. Now there are other things like fisheye, whatever that. Oh, I see. That's cool. But weird. Yeah, that's weird. Whatever. Clear all the graphics effects. And that will set it. That will change it by change size, change it, make it bigger, make it smaller. Set size will set it to a certain size. Go to front, whatever that does. Go back 1 layers, I don't know what that does. Costume basically is a variable of what costume it's on. Backdrop name, basically what backdrop it is. And size, what is the size of the him. Or whatever the sprite is. Maybe it's a block or object. How big is the star? Whatever. Play sound. This is all to do with sounds. Like play sound. See? I don't think you heard that. Well. Heard that? You hopefully did, right? Yeah. This is basically how to play sound effects. Like, well, this is drum. Whatever that does. Rest. I'm guessing that stops it for a while. Stop all sounds or stop it. That plays the sound until done. Whatever. Play note. It's gonna play a note. Like, you see? I think you heard that. See? Can change the note to, let's say, I actually played the piano, so let's say E. See? Cool piano, I have to say. They made it look cool. See? Set instrument will set the instrument, basically, like, for this. So 1 is piano. Let's go for electric guitar. If I was to choose, let's say, C, when I play this, if I set the instrument to that and play it, see? Sounds like a guitar now. Change volume, change the volume, obviously. Set volume will set it to a certain volume. Volume is the variable for volume. Change tempo is the variable tempo. Like, if you don't know what tempo is, the beat. It's technically the beat, like, why is it saying that? Basically, it's like the beat, like, set tempo will set the tempo, and that's a variable for tempo. Pen, this is all to do with the problem. Clear basic, so basically as I was saying, pen is all to do with the drawing and stuff. Clear will clear all the things you've drawn. Stamp basically will stamp him, you see? But he doesn't move, that's another sprite. And clear, you see? Clears it. This pen up and pen down. Pen up will basically put the pen up, and pen down will put the pen down. Stop drawing. So I seriously don't know how that's supposed to work, but set pen color basically sets what color the pen is. Set pen color by changes the number of the color. Set pen color to sets the number of the color. Change pen shade by will change the shade of the pen, so how opaque it is, how strong it is. Pen shade, set pen, well that changes it, that sets it. Change pen size will change how big the pen is, and set pen size will set the pen size. Data is basically variables. You can make your own variables, and you can make lists. Lists, I'm guessing you know what variables is. It's like a number or word or a sentence or whatever stored inside something. You see, variable name, whatever. Lists contain they're basically variables, but they contain more than one line. Like they contain lots of data. Basically, they contain normally a bunch of words, let's say like blah 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 blah. Then another line I'll say blah blue blah blue blah blah blue. Something like that. The next line I'll say something else. That's kind of it. Next video I will show a bit more on how to do this. But for now, bye!